Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News in Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, June 15th, around noontime, Mountain Time 2022. Tonga volcano afterglow is creating dazzling sunsets across New Zealand and Australia. But the big story, over 100 million Americans urged to stay indoors because it's hot outside. Keep calm. It's boom time. No, for real. A heat wave is expected to settle over the U.S. over the next few days, but it is summer. And as we're closing in on summer, Mount Hood is still seeing light snowfall amid such a heat wave. Now, hail is pounding Nebraska again for the second time in 4 days. Many places were pelted by these icy rocks, shattering windows and damaging buildings. And I hope nobody's noggin. I mean, look at the size of some of these hailstones. This C-word Walmart says it will be closed to customers due to storms and cleanup, but the pharmacy will be open for curbside pickup. So put on your helmets. The hail is out there. And we have the hail report from June 14th. 84,251 hail reports across the U.S., with 16,638 reports individually of hail between 1.75 and 2.25 inches. Grand Island, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, North Platte, all big winners in the hailstorm, as well as Mexico City, which was buried by a freak hailstorm. Holy macaroni. Similar to the freak hailstorm that buried Guadalajara in feet of ice back in 2019, the Mexico City saw several inches of hail fall during this intense summer storm Sunday, June 13th. So, sign of the times, as we predicted. Now, if you're wondering about what's happening with the pipeline fire and the Hayward fire, lighter winds Tuesday allowed for more use of aircraft on these fires, which is good news, and now they're just burning on limited fronts. The pipeline fire 6 miles north of Flagstaff was active Tuesday on the northeast side, north of Sunset Crater, and then the southern front of the Hayward fire was active as well. So looks like they might get a good handle on this today, and that's good news. Bad news for Texas. With 165,000 people in West Texas, they could be without water for days amid a heat wave after a major water main breaks. And take a look. We're going to get to the story in a minute. That's Yellowstone. Ector County declared a state of disaster as the city of Odessa potentially faces 48 hours of no water amidst a heat wave. So hopefully they're prepared out there. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this footage. Parts of Yellowstone National Park may stay closed for a substantial length of time. All of the summer, it's the summer of bummer at Yellowstone, after severe flooding. Now, while the entrances of Yellowstone National Park are temporarily closed because of flooding has damaged roads and bridges, the park's northern portion in particularly may remain closed for a substantial length of time, according to officials as of yesterday. Many sections of the road, the park's northern areas, are completely gone and will require substantial time and effort to reconstruct, according to a news release and according to the actual footage. Now, take a look at this house that's about to meet its demise. And it stays whole, so excellent construction there. Kudos go out to the carpenters.
That is insane.
Insane indeed. And you can see here, this is just some of the devastation happening in Yellowstone. As someone's home floats down the river. I hope nobody was home. And we'll see some better footage here from the drone.
Entrances to Yellowstone National Park are closed until at least Wednesday of this week because of what rangers are calling extremely hazardous conditions. Look at this incredible video.
The Yellowstone River is the last major undammed river in the lower 48 states, and today it crashed over bridges and roads in Park County, stranding residents and blocking access to Yellowstone National Park. Many people are being impacted as Carbella Bridge on the west side of 89 off Tom Minor Creek Road was completely washed away. This is...
I didn't figure I'd live long enough to see the next one, but here we are, 25 years later.
The northern section was hit especially hard, and visitors in that part of the park are being evacuated. Crews will soon start to assess the damage, but preliminary reports show numerous roads are washed out or blanketed with mud and rocks.
Tonight.
Bad situation there in Yellowstone, and our hearts and prayers go out to the people that are cut off. People who are literally cut off and could not escape in some cases. But those evacuations, I think, are now over, which is good news. Bad news, oppressive heat in the Midwest to the southeast, and the threat of severe thunderstorms across the upper Midwest, and that means more big hail. Life-threatening excessive heat will develop across portions of the Midwest, including the metro areas of Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati today. Dangerous heat will also be in place across central Georgia. Across the upper Midwest, several tornadoes, large to very large hail, and damaging winds all appear likely. Some of the tornadoes could be strong. So heads up, click on your county for more information. As we look at the GFS model, and we are basically on, take a look at that, monsoon watch. And it appears as if the monsoon is going to be kicking in here in the Four Corners region on Saturday, June 18th, and then it's just go time from there. By Tuesday, we're picking up some nice and heavy moisture in regions that haven't seen rain in a very long time. So good news on the monsoon watch beginning Saturday in the Four Corners region. Now let's talk about Tonga Volcano. There has been an afterglow creating dazzling sunsets across New Zealand and Australia. Here is an example, sunrise at Altona Beach in Australia. Aerosols released after the volcanic eruption of Tonga this year are creating unusually vibrant sunrises and sunsets. So get out and look up. And we also have some space weather that may be creating some aurora, and we'll get to that in a moment. Worldwide volcano news update. Bolson volcano on Luzon Island in the Philippines. Multiple phreatic eruptions over the last week. Activity has been increasing. The phase of intense activity at the volcano continues, and here we can see another phreatic eruption there coming from Bolson. And it continues today. Here's a volcanic ash advisory from Bolson, another 7,000-foot puff and pass. The estimated planetary K index just went into geomagnetic storm 3 hours ago, and we may remain there for quite a bit, as telemetry is showing us that M flare, right here, that long duration M flare from 2 days ago, well, has arrived at Earth right there about 12 hours ago last night. Plasma speed is only up 550 to 600 kilometers, so nothing spectacular, won't go above KP5. But we do have aurora in the forecast, and could be quite good later this evening up in Canada and the northern states. So get out there and look up if you're up there in North Dakota or Minnesota or even Montana. Now, did you know that Earth loses hundreds of tons of atmosphere to space every day? And this is pretty important, because if you add it up over geologic time, well, that gives us a lot more atmosphere. And that atmosphere has a lot more pressure. And that could explain a lot of things, like how pterosaurs flew. So join us tonight on Magnetic Reversal News to dive deeper into the topic and read the paper. It'll be linked below, the article. Another interesting tidbit I found that's, well, mind-blowing. Coffee drinking is linked to lower mortality risks. Now, just not a slightly lower mortality risk, 30% less likely to die if you drink coffee, even with sugar or cream. This research is groundbreaking. The research found that those who drank moderate amounts of coffee, 1 to even 5 cups, even with sugar, were up to 30% less likely to die from all causes, period. It blew my mind. So I went and got the paper, and we'll link it below. Association of sugar-sweetened, artificially sweetened, and unsweetened coffee consumption with all causes and cause-specific mortality. So if you drink coffee, well, like I do, you're 30% less likely to die of anything. And that's a boom. To knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance, especially if you don't drink coffee. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people and be safe. We love you. Thanks to all our one-time donors, our Patreons. Without your support, we cannot make these videos. We are shadow banned by the YouTube algorithms. So these videos, well, are very hard to find. So become a hero and share the video. We love you.